Hey, we are ready to move on to step 2. So I've got my sketchbook here more or less just to look at what I did and to kind of learn from my mistakes or what I really like about it. But I'm not necessarily going to try to copy this. This is too much of an organic process to try to absolutely duplicate this. So I'm going to kind of push this off to the side. Don't really need to look at it too much, but it's here just in case I want it. I've got my magic rub, I've got my pencil, and I've got my paper. I am using Tagboard, which is that thick, smooth paper. However, we're getting to the point where it needs to be whatever you've got left that you think is going to be right for this project. So probably not watercolor paper, but if you've got drawing paper left or tag paper left, you can use either of those. That's fine. If you are out of everything because you loved art and you went crazy and used all your paper, then go ahead and grab a piece of clean computer paper or something out of a sketchbook that you can rip with a straight edge. We don't want to see any perforations, so no notebook edges. So if you need to, use some scissors and cut that off, but hopefully you still have some good paper left. All right, so we're going to start just the way we did before. We're going to make sure that we start at the top and work our way down. All right, I added a little bit more light so you could see a little better, and we are ready to go. So again, we're going to start at the top, and I know I kind of started in the middle last time, but I think I actually want to start to the left and just change it up a little bit. And I'm going to make this first one maybe a little bit larger. Okay, so again, I trace first, and then I'm making kind of parallel line shapes inside. Going slow, so that first line might be faster than your second line. Nice and slow, taking the time to recognize when your line bounces. And it gets a little less detailed kind of as you move upward in the shape. All right, one more. Okay, again, double checking yourself that your lines are staying consistent, that you're not getting them, sometimes it's natural to sort of try to start getting them closer together as you get further up, but just try to avoid that. Double check yourself as you go. All right, so there's shape number 1, and I'm going to kind of overlap and underlap at the same time. Do something a little different over here. You notice that it gets a little crazy when you have longer shapes like this. Okay. All right, so now I'm at the point where my top is basically done. I'm fine with leaving this as negative space over here. So that's going to stay white later on. And I'm going to start building my overlaps and underlaps. So remember, I'm always working underneath, and I'm naturally creating that overlap from the ones that were done before. Okay, so I'm going to try to decide where I want to start and stop this next one. I think I'm going to start right here. And then it's going to kind of stop up there. And I think my lines have gotten a little further apart on this one, but that's okay. Our sketchbook paper is slightly smaller than our final paper. And I still have plenty of lines to color later on. So as you're drawing, you can kind of start thinking about, ooh, where am I going to add color? Am I going to have black and white sections? Am I going to do it full color? This is the one time I'm going to let you make it look like a unicorn vomited on your paper. We're going to use rainbow everywhere if you want it, and it's going to be nice, bold, and colorful. I've got a little overlap over there. I'm going to erase. I'm going to come back here and add another layer. So I don't want you to copy mine exactly. I want you to come up with your own patterning. There's no way you possibly could copy mine anyways. Even if I tried to copy my first one, I guarantee it would end up different, just the way that the lines work and how they move through our papers. All right, I'm liking this kind of asymmetrical negative space over here, so I'm not going to do too much. I'm going to add maybe a small a smaller drip or a drip that's going to overlap both of these. Let's see. Actually, I don't like this last piece that I did. I'm going to have it go back up. I'm trying to prevent my drips and the dips in my line from not being even with each other. Those two were pretty even with each other if I looked at my pencil. So I just adjusted those a little bit. Again, I'm paying attention to where my line starts and stops. And, you know, do I have space to draw another section, or do I need to stop? Okay, and it looks like that one is done. And I think I've probably got one more in me, and I'm going to leave this as negative space. So again, none of my drips are going off the bottom of the paper. We want to see a full drip. We have done large versions of this project in school, and they're actually still hanging up near the cafeteria. And they look really cool when they're cut out so that they physically look like they're dripping off of things. So that is going to be an option later on if you want to cut out this negative space and go hang it up somewhere in the corner of your room or something like that so it looks like those rainbows are dripping out of the edge of your ceiling. You can do that as well. Okay, so here's all my negative space. So I'm going to kind of trace over all my negative space. Not so much, right? Most of my paper, at least 2/3 to 3/4 of my paper is filled up with my lines, and that's what we want. Okay, so just double check as you work that you don't have too much negative space. And if you do, go ahead and just add in another drip layer. All right, next up is coloring. I'm excited to show you guys these options.